I was brought up in a hugely creative family. My mother was a painter, and my dad, he'd come home with these make and do books for myself and the brothers, so it's kind of this creative vibe that we had together. I did art up until the junior cert, and I said, that's not really something I want to study, it's something that I just want to enjoy. So I didn't do it for the leaving cert. I just said, that's my creative thing in the background. But then I had to make this choice then, where do I go from here, and can creativity be part of what I do every day? And there was one conversation I had with a guidance counsellor, and she said, there is some course called industrial design. I'd never heard of it. She went to her filing cabinet, pulled out a leaflet and said, maybe have a look at this. And it was this kind of perfect balance of engineering and science and art and creativity. So I went to NCAD, I spoke to the course directors, they introduced me to some of the students. And after talking to the students particularly, who were so passionate about the course, I think I came away from that knowing that that's what I want to do next. So then when I started industrial design, it took me a long time to realize through the course where my value was in design. I still think I didn't really understand what industrial design was until at least the second year in. I slowly started to realize what design was. It wasn't just invention and creativity, it was finding complex human problems typically to solve. So I realized that actually part of design is finding your voice in all of this problem solving. So that really stood to me. So when I came back and did fourth year, the final year, I think that's when I was really starting to understand it, that solving complex problems to elevate people's potential with whatever we design was the key to industrial design and to my future. When I finished college, I really wanted to get a job, earn some money, put what I learned to practice. And in NCAD, they have a final year exhibition. So they open up the entire college for the public to come view. And different companies send scouts to see where the talent is so that they could maybe kind of hire a few interns or any kind of upcoming talents. I had applied for a whole series of jobs, including design partners at the time, and design partners had sent scouts to the exhibition, but they invited maybe 5 or 6 people in my class for interview, but not me. So I hounded them for about 3 or 4 weeks, and what I had done was I had put a few images from my portfolio on my CV, because they just said, look, send your CV, we'll put it in a filing cabinet. So someone had spotted the images I put in and said, who's this guy, when is he coming in? And they said, oh, he hasn't been selected. So I said, look, let's talk to him. So I felt I had enough of a tool set there that I had the confidence to go in. The irony is that when I did land a job, I realized I knew nothing. But you just have to become a sponge. You have to find an area where you can add value instantly, I think. We talk about it in design partners, this balance of ego and empathy. So you need to have enough ego to be able to say, here is my idea, I believe in it, or stand in front of a boardroom of one of our clients and say, here's the future of your company. But you also need to have enough empathy to listen, to be wrong, to fail. Failure is part of the process. Every project has its own unique problem, so the first thing we need to do as designers or researchers or strategists is to identify what that problem is. Sometimes it's really evident in the client's brief or in the initial research, or sometimes it's something that we have to spend a lot of time really uncovering. So in order to create meaningful future experiences for people, we need to understand what is the human problem we're solving here? How can we create new products and experiences that add joy to people's lives? So for example, when we were working with Logitech, who are an incredible brand who deliver amazing products to help people be more productive and creative, they felt like they were dwindling in the gaming market. So what was the problem? And we realized after a lot of research, talking to gamers, professional gamers, casual gamers, and the internal team, that they just weren't emotionally resonating. Gamers didn't love them or hate them. They were fantastic products, but they were fine. So how could we create a whole new suite of products that captured the science-led approach that Logitech had developed, but inject this kind of visceral, ferocious emotion at the time, which kind of was really well founded in gaming. So that set us off on a really fascinating journey where we really tried to uncover what mattered to gamers. So here, a critical part of the design process is sketching. The sketching we do isn't about creating beautiful pieces of art, but it's about, again, solving a problem through exploration and creativity. Gaming products are typically quite complex. They have a lot of controls. You might have up to 25 buttons on a gaming mouse, for example, but you don't want to give someone a perception of complexity. You want to have kind of a perceived simplicity, that this is something easy to use, something I can master. So in order to capture that, we have to create beautiful aesthetic design that communicates the potential or the mastery in the design. So we started to take infrared footage of how casual and professional gamers were holding their mouse. That would leave a heat map on the products that we were able to then study and analyze the finger position of the gamers, how fast they could access different controls and buttons while they're mid-gaming. From that study, we ended up with really interesting form factors that were based in science. So we started to take this essentially kind of ugly monster that we did as part of an early prototype and start to turn it into this kind of beautiful but menacing aesthetic. And of course, through the entire process, as we're creating new models, new prototypes, new iterations, we're always trying to balance those two things. How can we enhance the performance of people who use this so that it genuinely enhances their abilities or capabilities, but also we want to create products that they fall in love with. So we wanted to make sure that there was this emotional connection between them and the products. Now we want to bring it to life and manifest it in a real form of a gaming mouse. So what I do next is I sketch this form onto a block of foam in this case, so I can sculpt it and create it by hand. So now once I have this, I'm going to cut this out of the block of foam and start bringing it to life, thinking about it in 360 degrees. We would then scan this, bring it into the computer and start shelling it out so we could 3D print different parts, shove electronics in to create working prototypes of it, and then go back to the gaming community and test it with them. So after doing multiple rounds of testing working prototypes with gamers to fine-tune the precision of buttons and controls and details, we've worked very closely with our engineering team and design partners and with the clients. So at this point we're very confident that we have an incredible product, but now we need to obsess over the final details to make sure that that story that we were cooking after the research gets delivered in the end. So we started looking at really interesting finishes that mimic this kind of ethereal world of the gamers. We started to look at quite interesting new grip materials that would add that science-led performance but give you quite a striking feel. So all of that is to make sure that the final product that the gamer gets in their hands is something that will help them perform better, but also something that they'll fall in love with. So when this particular product launched, I remember the day the YouTube video went online, the emotional reactions for gamers who just said they love it, they can't wait to buy it, take my money now. Those kind of reactions were exactly what we were trying to hit. And now, a number of years on, after winning loads of design awards, being a best-selling product, what really matters to me personally is that the end users love it and that they keep it and that the products and the designs we create are genuinely meaningful for people. My advice to people who are considering design, thinking what to do, looking at it as a potential career choice, is to reach out. You think that companies are untouchable or unattainable, but particularly with social media, everyone is accessible. I absolutely love what I do, from the opportunities that we have from working with clients and the briefs and the projects we get to have a real impact on people's lives, to the team we have. We have an amazing team from all over the world. There's definitely this philosophy that we're greater than the sum of our parts, because the skill sets that we have, the culture that we've tried to embody really empowers this joy of creativity. And even when we're really stressed, it still brings out the best in us, I think.